ladies and gentlemen, greetings and welcome to the Collegiate Star League. Actually, good afternoon even for some of you still on the West Coast. Oh my goodness, you've come at a great time for the first season of Collegiate CSGO. We're down to our final 8 teams, and we'll be showing 4 of those teams tonight. I am Cheesehead Logic, joined by me, myself, and I at the moment. Joey's a little bit caught up getting back to wherever he's from, so he'll be joining us a little bit later for the broadcast. Mr. What's Wrong is actually going to be playing in this first match right now coming up. But let's break down the day. First match of the day, we're going to have UCLA versus Ohio State. Ohio State, they come into the day perfect at 14-0 record along with a good playoff win against San Diego State and Toronto. As of that round of 16 match against Toronto, OSU dropped their first map just last week, so an incredible streak really ended compared to their overall 14-0 record. One map finally dropped. Woohoo, right? Yeah. So for us in recent weeks, we really don't know actually what's been going on with Ohio State. They've kind of been a little bit of a ghost. They've avoided a few of the broadcasts, so we're going to be seeing some new players play today. I heard they had some roster changes. We'll have to see if that's true. Obviously, we've had an eye on UCLA for the past few weeks. They've been really amazing, just been dominating opponents. They come into today with a pretty high 11-2 record of their own. I'm sorry, 12-1 record of their own, plus a couple playoff wins versus Carnegie Mellon and McKeown. Man, they stomped them. They stomped them. My goodness, that was just a complete blowout. But we're about ready to get into the knife round here in our first match of the day. The second match of the night is going to be UC Davis versus Poly de Montreal. Poly, of course, coming over from Canada. They are an amazing team. Almost a European team. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but they're almost a European team, in fact, with a 14-0 record, completely dominant. We saw them just abuse UC Santa Cruz a few nights ago, and I mean, it's really a crazy good team. We'll also see UC Davis. They're hot, they're streaky. We'll talk about them a little bit later, but it looks like, oh, nope, we got a couple players unready themselves. Should be ready to go in a moment. Right now, UCLA, they're actually playing at the Collegiate Coliseum over in California, so they're going to be playing actually in the finals after this match. So once we get done over here, you can also head on over there and check them out. But they got to play this first to see if they could get into the round of 4. Remember, this does not guarantee you a trip to DreamHack just yet. There's one more step, and that is winning. After winning today, you will have to win next Saturday. That's going to be our semifinals date. So it should be a nice, fun, busy, and exciting week coming on up. Now, if you guys are tuning into the Collegiate Star League for the first time, I want to welcome you guys in. All our content this year literally brought to you by Asus, Asus ROG, Asus USA. Check them out, give them some love. Some of the best peripherals in the game. We're talking from laptops to PCs to parts to gear to really whatever you need. They pretty much have it. So we really are proud to have them along and on board for us this season. As you see, we are actually still currently doing our Asus video contest. If you head over to our YouTube channel, a bunch of creative, great videos are on over there. Most views wins an awesome laptop. I think it's an LG 225. I need that relay to come on back up. It's the GL552, sorry, whoops. And then a couple of runners up are going to be getting those VG248QE monitors as well. So, I mean, they have been really hooking us up nicely throughout the year. Then, as well, also Twitch. Without Twitch, literally would not be possible because we're streaming here. Oh my god, I know, right? Leading provider in esports and streams. We absolutely love them, adore them, and are happy to have them along as well. But it looks like we are just about ready and set. Bum, bum, bum. Yes, we are indeed. Woohoo! Alright guys, here we freaking go. Map number 1, it is finally time. We're going to be starting off today and all our round of 8 games on Mirage. And see, oh, I hate when that scoreboard little thing bugs, unfortunately, dang it. But as you see, we're going to have knife round coming up here to find out who's going to be grabbing what side. OSU is going to start, I guess, on the T side of here. Where are they going to meet? Where are they going to meet? This is really interesting. And we do thank you guys for coming in and tuning in today. I know it's a very conflicted day, especially with the awesome MLG Major. Was watching that myself all the way up until the last minute where we had to go live pretty much. So if you guys want to pull up another tab, that would be awesome. Or tell your friends to pull up another tab. We don't want you guys to miss any of the great content out there. Especially not the major, but definitely you want to check out all of this awesome CSL action. Good night for everyone coming out from UCLA. It looks like they're going to stay over on CT side, as many other teams do prefer as well. This is kind of cool, guys. I'll be honest, this is actually my first like CSGO solo cast. I haven't actually ever done this before. I'm kind of a little bit nervous, you know, a little bit spaghetti-ish. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We have a lot of great talent on the UCLA side. Let's look out for GIMP, Raxa, and What's Wrong. It was actually a really cute note that Will left me in our script. It's just like UCLA players to watch out for: GIMP, Raxa, and What's Wrong. Please Kappa no flame. I just couldn't help but laugh. It was really funny. Over on the OSU side, we haven't seen them really too much, but expect G4C Shooter as well as also probably Bonkers to have some good participation today. Now it looks like already OSU heading over to B side right now. Captain for UCLA hanging over by apartments, drops down to car. Smoke's coming out right now. Execute. Let's see how well he can hold. What's Wrong from the windows, stopping some nerds from getting over to the B side, and actually Captain looping around the T side, managing to get some of these shots right in their back of their heads. Pulls out the knife. We'll get a knife kill as well on Major, and that just leaves one man alive. That's going to be G4C Shooter. That's going to be tough to retake against 3 CTs. Takes one out of the way though, but still a couple good players left in Snoopy and What's Wrong. Will be very hard to grab that bomb as is. Thinking about it, and actually gonna throw a sick flash all the way from the back of apartments. Doesn't really get anybody though, and you can see What's Wrong and Snoopy not really shaking in position. Snoopy peeks out, drops the headshot, and that's gonna be round number 1 for UCLA. Woo! Should be a fun day of games. UCLA, again, of all the teams that we've seen throughout the playoffs, and I've seen actually almost every game now, UCLA whacks their opponents. Now again, matchups do matter, because when we talk about Poly in Montreal, they actually, even though they dominated, they struggled for one map against UC Santa Cruz. It wasn't a pure blowout, just how you saw UCLA versus McEwen, but we'll see if that's going to be the case again. Bonkers getting an early dig. Snoopy trying to rotate over from Cat to try to help control mid a little bit. We got, it looks like on the UCLA side. I was about to say not the UCLA side. It's actually OSU. I was looking at the avatar. Look at OSU trolling UCLA. They have UCLA avatars. That is absolutely funny. What great mind games going on today. Here, GIMP checking connector, manages to, looks like he spread a little bit of a Major not down. Still a lot of mid control. Eventually, finally, G4C Shooter does go down by underpass. 4 on 4. And playing very patient, as you see Zero coming up here over Palace. He does have a CT under him. Who is that? That's Raxa, able to knock him down though, so that's going to open up the A side a little bit. There is a CT on stairs, but you have to be really careful not to commit to everybody over here on A side, because there are still some floaters in mid. Meanwhile, we do see Bonkers coming over to A side. Overall, they're positioned pretty well, because if Snoopy grabs that mid control, they're going to have a pretty quick rotate. GIMP getting Noah, that's going to definitely help out right there. And that's going to leave a 2-on-2 on A side, down to a 1-on-2. And look at Raxa cleaning up right there. Not much left, and that's 2 solid rounds for UCLA in the books. And again, feel free, guys, you know, feel free to, you know, throw out advice. You know, hit me with some of those confidence bombs. It's good. It could, if Joey doesn't get here by the second map, we could have a long best of 3. But hopefully, I could keep you guys at least entertained for the time being. We could also definitely talk a lot about other CSL stuff going on. Lots of playoffs, a very chaotic time. Basically, by next Saturday, we're going to get a lot of round of 8 matches, and we're going to have a pretty good idea as well who's all going to be going to DreamHack outside of League of Legends. We already had Cal Poly, actually, sorry, not Pomona, but we had Cal Poly SLO. From the Dota 2 side, they ended up qualifying through the Dota 2 qualifiers in their round of 8 match, so big congrats to them. Obviously, the question, at least in the collegiate CSGO community, is Is it going to be a West Coast final? Is it just going to be all West Coast teams? Are we going to have some of the Canadian powerhouses? Is Ohio State going to sneak their way on in? You know, there's a lot of questions here as well. We'll have to kind of answer across this next week and a half or so. Rax getting a nice little pick off. Will duck down under Palace. There is somebody watching on stairs, but he's got to watch out behind him. G4C shooter sneaks on up through connector. Bonkers goes down, but look at Snoopy cleaning up. Snoopy! Nice job right there, helping out on A side. Basically every point, turning left, turning right, grabbing Palace, grabbing connector. And that's 3 rounds now for UCLA. Interesting, definitely. We'll see, you know, as the game progresses on, how does OSU sort of adjust? This is going to be their, I guess you would call it their first official full buy gun round. But right now, double op setup coming out from UCLA. We got What's Wrong peeking up mid. Dangerous player, watch out for him. He not only spits a pretty hard CSGO game on our cast, but he can play a pretty sick CSGO game as well. So slow setup coming through mid. We have T's coming through underpass. We have T's at the back of mid as well over by crates. And What's Wrong will get smoked out. Let's see how they end up setting this up. They do have as well 1T lurking over on Palace A side, so if they do end up getting a pick or at least something that notifies them that they could get an opening, you could expect A side to get really rushed quickly here in just moments. And dropping down, it definitely looks like they're going to be trying to go for that A. And look at the spray through, beautiful play right there. Raxa getting caught, just not fortunate really above all else. They really took a shot in the dark going through the walls as a team. They really sprayed as hard as they could. And now they're slowly creeping up mid. You can see some of the teams rotating through the back of A side, or I'm sorry, T spawn, heading over to A. And there's not a lot of UCLA players over on A, guys. Shh. Don't tell UCLA. Don't tell UCLA. OSU basically has a free A side at this point, but now the rotates are coming over, and for some reason, nobody's checking the CT side of it. There we go, finally. We have 3s, but there's still quite a few UCLA players alive, mainly AKs trading out, 2-on-1 remaining, and now it's going to be up to Tezro to take on Captain and Snoopy. AK versus M4 and Gorilla. Oh no, not going to be able to do so. Captain swooping in there pretty quick. Snoopy swaps up and snatches an op right there. Got to be in a pretty good scenario right now. UCLA good on economy, good on guns. OSU, what are they going to decide to do this round? Are they going to end up buying? Or are they going to maybe quasi-buy a little bit? It looks like they're going to, yeah, it looks like just a really soft quasi-buy, a little bit of armor, some pistols, and as well a couple of nades. So enough to at least get them a buy if they wanted to next round, but definitely going to be tough to deal with the guns and the power of UCLA. And there we have it. Raxa taking out mid, pushing up mid as well, so he's pretty aware of what's going on, at least if he notices a rotate or somebody shuffling around back there. And I think they do hear them walking around. There we go, Snoopy coming through underpass, and he's right next to all the T's. OSU doesn't notice him. OSU doesn't notice him. Look at Raxa, or sorry, Snoopy. Snoopy drops a double right there, almost getting a 3K right there. Couldn't decide who he wanted to aim on right there at the very end. And now it's a 4-on-2 for UCLA. Poor guys at the back of B over here, really trapped. Uncertain where to go. They're going to rotate on out. Dun, dun, dun. Well, let's see here. Are they going to go mid? Yeah, it looks like they're going to try to go mid. That's not a bad idea. With mid, at least they have a little bit more opportunity to spot somebody. They do have to deal and kind of worry about a little bit more crossfire, but at least if there is going to be an area where they might leave it a little bit open after trading, it is going to be that mid, which will give them that flexibility to choose which way they want to go. And looks like they're going to try to position up A. Can they do it? What's Wrong with a beautiful Kobe, and Raxa helping out through the back. Good help defense right there, as we would call it in sports. And that is a clean 5 rounds right now for UCLA. Now we do have that comment in here, and I can address it because this is really due to me. This is gonna be this is all basically, well, I mean, part of it's deadlines, part of it's kind of on me, but There we go. There you go, Will. Way to get that off. But scheduling-wise, people saying that OSU got scheduled during the MLG major. Well, it's a bit unfortunate. Like I'll be very transparent about it. We have 4 round of 8 matches that we have to put, 2 on Saturday, 2 on Wednesday, and then we have next Saturday for our round of 8. So we're sorry, round of 4. So we are hitting our deadlines. And we do have deadlines, so that's kind of why we have to step everybody in. In terms of teams that communicated sooner to San Jose and USC, really preferred not to play today because they're playing at also the Collegiate Coliseum, in which they basically got the Wednesday date. OSU kind of came in a little bit late on the MLG major stuff, but at the same time, what we're telling to all the teams, guys, is a couple nights that you have to sacrifice, and you basically get a chance to get your whole entire trip paid for to go to DreamHack, to compete for scholarship money. I understand how freaking awesome it must be at, you know, at a major in Columbus, especially for this one. If you're missing it out, it could only be just a pain, but you know, sometimes in life you got to make the tough decisions and, you know, prioritize things properly, because obviously I feel like there's more potential for the teams that have made it this far. It's like, do you really want to throw away a round of 8 match just for the MLG major? It's like, you're going to be able to watch VODs, you're going to be able to, you know, catch everything and recap it. Like, it's not that, it's a big deal, but it's not that big of a deal. Like, people need to prioritize properly. It's just unfortunate that schedules overlap and overlay how they do. That's really about it. But 3-on-2 remaining right here as the time runs out, you know, right? Oh no! Sarah goes down. Yeah, I was about to say, is our last player over here, and no, he's going to be okay as well. OSU lets the time run out, and they end up losing a gun also past the end timer right there. So that really does stink. They don't have a lot of money to work with. They're going to buy up as much as they possibly can. Cerro has absolutely nothing just due to losing that gun at the very end of the round. And once again, double op setup from UCLA. They're in a great position, leading 6-0, dominating right now the CT side of Mirage. Well, slowly creeping up A for OSU's side of things. We haven't really seen too much out of them yet. They haven't really executed a lot either. They attempted one execute on B. They've attempted sort of an execute on mid into A, but not a lot of setup play. Just a lot of taking their time, taking aim battles, and then sort of trading out as best as they possibly can. For a 14-0 team, especially on the T side Mirage, I would expect a little bit more of a setup, and I think now they're going to it a little bit better. You don't want to wait until the very, very last second. They do have guns to work with, and there we go. Gimp spots and misses the shot to go down, trading out well. OSU gets the A site. Let's see, can Snoopy at least hold him up just a little bit before a bomb play? Might have to shoot through the smoke, not able to connect with anybody. That's going to leave also as well. Cerro on the other side of smoke. He'll have to be careful coming across. Connector, what's wrong? We'll try to get somebody, won't, and as well also in the back of A ramp, Captain goes down. Good decision right there. I'm assuming Will's calling for the save right there. And no, Snoopy goes in for it, ends up dying. What's wrong? We'll definitely have to be careful here and hide as best as he can. Gotta watch out if OSU is going to hunt for him. But it looks like OSU is going to get their first map of the game, and that's good for them. Can build up their guns a little bit, can build up momentum. We're really curious to see. I mean, it would be beyond crazy just to see UCLA dominate a 14-0 team. Even though UCLA is good, they're great actually, they're great. They're not just good, they're great. There's a reason you get to 14-0. There's a reason you do so well in playoffs so far if you're Ohio State. So already just seeing them go down this early, I don't know if it's just having to adjust and sort of get themselves mentally prepared for today. Was it, you know, just one of those things with an easier schedule? And we will kind of go into that a little bit. I think Ohio State had a slightly easier schedule. Teams like UCLA, teams like UC Davis, they had to go through a bit of a blender, especially UC Davis. We'll talk about them. I think they had one of the hardest schedules in all of the CSL, just hitting the best of the best teams, and especially UCLA as well, playing in very tough divisions across both halves of the season. What's Wrong gets shot down, leaving 3 closer to A side. Looks like we have one player as well here in window / jungle, kind of close in that area. Gimp finds one through the smoke. Noah trades Raxa. Oh, almost. We almost got one more, but they're going to try to creep up their A side a little bit more. Noah's actually already made it all the way through. He's trying to pick off the connector player. Doesn't hit his shot. That's going to allow him to know he's on A side. Meanwhile, the bomb is actually for OSU, floating through the back of T-spawn, trying to figure out where they're going to go. What in the world is happening back there? They're going to have to kind of hurry on up. I think they have more than enough time to get on site and plant, but if they give UCLA enough time to rotate right now, it's going to be tough to find it. A little bit easier right there, especially with the pickoff. Trade out in mid. That's going to leave a 2v2, but it is a 1-on-2 on B side, and there we go. Ohio State takes it. Going to plant the bomb. Zero going to bench. His teammate, where is he going to go up from Card Apartments? That's going to leave a tough retake right now for Gimp. Can he get in there? No, he cannot. Not able to deal with the crossfire, and that's 2 back-to-back rounds for OSU, starting to build it up. Economy for UCLA, only good on a couple players. They're going to have to buy and draw for their teammates, so if they can't get another round like this, they're going to be looking at ecos. Meanwhile, OSU, another one, could see them being good for the next few rounds, definitely for sure. And again, sort of going back to that discussion, hey, I understand people sign up, people want to go to the event in the major. Like I said, I understand all the player side of it and the team side of it. But, when you're having to deal with deadlines and, match dates, like other leagues, as much as people want to claim they would adjust, most other leagues actually wouldn't really adjust the time that hard, especially if they're trying to broadcast the matches. And when you got some deadlines, again, people have to realize that, some of the decision making to hit these matches and make sure that they're played and getting them in as quick as possible. There is more than just CSGO student reasons. There's financials involved. There's money. There's scheduling and booking and travel, and there's a lot involved. So we do need the teams, to play within a certain time frame. We can't be as loose as I guess I want to say we were during the group stages. And ooh. G4C shooter almost getting Gimp right there through the smoke. Gimp's still holding it down though. He dropped the op, grabs the AK. Let's see if he can hold on just a little bit longer, maybe get a defuse. No, he will not be able to. G4C shooter pops out of the smoke, pops him down. And that is 3 back-to-back rounds for Ohio State. But they did lose a lot of rifles there, so they will have to buy out. Still looking decent on money. Meanwhile, UCLA most likely going to be ecoing, or at least maybe quasi-buying. Yeah, for the most part, it looks like they're ecoing. Nothing too crazy. Armoring up. And we are on to round number 9. Round number 9. Oh my god. Don't forget today, we do have the best of 3 for this match, and as well we also have another best of 3 coming up after this with UC Davis versus Poly de Montreal. Oui. Or as Will calls them, the Frenchies. I was just like, oh, Canada's going to get triggered. Thanks, Will. Thanks. Well, so far, not too much going on. As we see, Bonkers taking the aim battle and underpass, ends up winning it, takes down Gimp. Early man advantage in the round. So far, so good for Captain. What's wrong with definitely sort of a slow start once again. He definitely picked up last time we saw around the second half of the map. So we'll see if that's going to be the same story there. Meanwhile, on the OSU side of things, 8 frags for G4C shooter, as called, expected. Bonkers as well, kind of a little bit of a slower start, but now with guns, and we'll see how well they end up picking it up. Here comes 3S. Here comes Ohio State on A site. One in Palace. Can they spot the CTs? The one's literally sitting in smoke. The other one's on the side. What's wrong? Picking such a beautiful position on crates right there. Ends up taking 2 out before the rest can try to get on site. And now we're down to a 2-on-3. It is actually a manageable situation, and getting even better. Snoopy drops 3S, but the bomb is planted. They're limited on time. Noah back in firebox. Can he defend the spot? There's also a T in ramp with G4C shooter. Snipes one down in Snoopy, and that now leaves Captain trying to do a 2-on-1. Ends up taking out one of them. Spots where the other T is, and gets off. His shot kills G4C shooter, but the molly is out. It's burning the bomb. He can't enter it, and he won't have enough time to defuse. No way. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. What a beautiful save. What a beautiful save by G4C shooter. Could have taken the aim battle, could have waited it out a little bit longer. Has the presence and awareness to drop the molly over the bomb so his opponent couldn't defuse. More so a very sad round to lose by UCLA, but better played by OSU. Fantastic. Fantastic. Round numero 10. B split over on the side of Ohio State. We do have Snoopy and Captain though sitting right there. They're in smoke. Captain's going to try to take a little bit of a pre-fire. Doesn't end up hitting anybody, but Nade does knock off a little bit of damage. Let's see if they slow down and consider maybe a little bit of a rotate here. Every time they've gone B, they really haven't had a great time. Only one round one here. Tight corridors, quick rotates, and retakes by UCLA, making it very tough. It seems like their best option, at least right now for Ohio State side, is to look more so for mid control and maybe try to go into A site. It seems like just having that ability to come into an open site from different areas and swarm them is usually where they can kind of catch them off guard, as we've seen. And is it going to be the same case here? We do have a little bit of a setup right here favored towards Cap, but it's still very mid-control. They could swap either or. Here we go. Next you coming over to B side. They end up dropping one from Cat side, but two coming over from B apartments. Captain dropping Cero. Oh, can they flank him well enough? Can they flank him well enough? They might be able to, and indeed, Snoopy does end up going down, leaving a 3-on-3. Molly over to window side, 3S gets Raxa, and this is going to be a little bit tougher right now for Gimp. Even though Gimp is positioned pretty well, he's trying to find where his opponents are. Bomb goes down. What's Wrong gets a close shot right there on the head of G4C Shooter, and can they communicate well enough to retake and look at the proper angles? Major, you can see he's looking down Cat, might be able to get What's Wrong, but has to watch his backside and mark it, and he ends up dropping him. This is going to be a tough retake for What's Wrong. Has to make a move now, takes one down to a one-on-one. His opponent's on car. 3S, can he hold it down just a little bit longer? He's been so well. Diffuse, pulls up. What's Wrong? Absolutely clutch. Pulls up from the bomb defuse, gets Bonkers down, gets the defuse, and there we go. That's the What's Wrong that we know and love to see. Grabs the op as well. Just victories all over the board right there. Takes the round, takes his opponent's lives, defuses the bomb. No regard for, just no regard for humanity. What's Wrong? What is wrong with you, man? And tosses the op around a little bit more. It's interesting that he's tossing the op though to Gimp, because they've been running this 2-op setup, and we've usually seen What's Wrong be the main opper for UCLA. So it is kind of curious and interesting that he's tossing it over to Gimp to try and play with that, and he's going to go down with the rifle himself. Well, we're getting a little bit closer to half. A bit of an A split up and set up for OSU right now. 1 in Pals, 2 at ramp, actually 3 at ramp. Mid control from 3S. Smoke off on the Cat side. Molly's into window, and he'll see if he can hold them up over at least on mid while the rest of the team attempts to execute. And what is happening? What are they complaining about? Did something happen to our server? Like I didn't even notice. Like what? I don't think we like lagged out or froze or anything. Oh wait, no, I see it. I do see it now. Oh boy. Yeah, we definitely need to try to take a pause after this round. Oh boy. Yeah, that lag is not good. That is definitely not good. Yo, I know. Yep. We'll have to take a pause, so hopefully until like lag goes down after this round, but yeah, bit of an unfortunate round right there for UCLA and actually Ohio State as well. Both teams kind of suffering and dealing with the lag. We have to take a quick pause right here, guys. So hold on just a second as I talk to both teams while we sort of figure this out and how to proceed forward, or hopefully maybe the lag goes down here in just moments. But until that time, guys, more action coming up from game number 1 here, UCLA versus Ohio State. Don't go anywhere.
What have you got to say? My heart is on display, but I'm not afraid. Yeah, I'm not afraid. Why you been getting busy? I've been getting busy, trying not to keep you in mind. Now I do
Alright guys, welcome back, welcome back. Thank you for being patient, and looks like some of our lag slash server issues have been taken care of, or at least alleviated for the most part. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough when the ping spikes up to 800. I don't know if you guys have ever played CSGO with 800 ping. Definitely an experience everybody should have once in their life. If you are in your 20s, you probably actually had that experience playing on dial-up or DSL at some point in your life. You just find out, 10 seconds later that you died after you thought you were playing. You're just, rubber banding so damn hard. But we will continue on. It looks like everything is good. 7-5 in favor of UCLA as we're still in the first half of game number 1 in our round of 8. Ladder room, sneaky play by Trezzo. Oh, does he see a head? He doesn't see the head long enough, and Gimp with that lifetime ends up taking out G4C shooter. Bonkers gets him from underpass though. Where will they decide to go? They were looking at B right there, Trezzo, but from the top of the apartments, it looks like Captain pushed him back. Meanwhile, back on Tetris, we have Raxa holding up A side, as well as also What's Wrong, sort of pushing his way through T-spawn. So it does give him a bit more information that they're most likely not over on A unless they shuffled around a bunch in Palace. They do hear the nades and the fire coming over from B side. OSU working up Cat. They're going to head over to B. How well can Snoopy hold off? Actually, it's just Captain right now. Snoopy looking to market. There we go. He's going to have to look window to definitely help out his team. Ends up getting one on Bonkers. Can Captain at least trade out one? No, he will not. Snoopy gets taken down as well, and this is going to be a really rough retake for UCLA, as it is a 2-on-2, but it is small rifles versus big guns right here, and misses the shot, misses the opportunity through market, misses the shot right there, point blank. Raxa somehow managing to figure out how to have an extra life, and oh no, What's Wrong coming on through, almost could have gotten himself a really sick clutch, as both of our OSUTs were down to about 20 HP, not a lot to work with. Alright, round number 14. We're not lagging again, are we? No. Okay. Hey, you know what? Even to that comment, I'm not even gonna, like, disagree in particular. I'm not even gonna disagree. As a gamer at heart, as a gamer myself, if I was there in their position, I wouldn't blame them. Some of the comments. I'll justify it. I'm honest. I'll be transparent. I'll back them up on that. But unfortunately, we just kind of have to progress on for the most part. It looks like most of the server issues are fine now. I don't know what that complaint was about in particular, but as we do see, not a lot of money left on the side of UCLA. They're having an eco on round at number 13, or sorry, 14, so they might have a shot to get some rifles on 14. Mid control once again taken by OSU. They're smoking off. Window room taking a lot of control. We do have right here Raxa sitting, but Tezro, nice little shot right there, right in the dome. Takes out the window room. That definitely opens up B side, as you see 3 S's just getting on side and wondering where in the wide world is all of the CTs, and nobody is here, and that's going to call all the other T's over from Ohio State. Meanwhile, how is UCLA going to attempt this? Are they just going to sit back and save? I mean, with 4 players, they have to at least maybe attempt some sort of a retake or trade guns. Maybe knock off a rifle here, knock off a gun there. Sitting back and saving with all 4 players, I don't agree with that. You're 2 rounds away from half. Why not try to at least trade off? You're ecoing anyways. You're going to get rifles. You're not going to get really too much out of saving at this point until you're down to no numbers. And at least it seems like UCLA is going to begin positioning themselves for exit frags, but nobody is positioned over on the B side apartment, so they're going to be able to escape freely. You can see Bonkers just kind of hanging in there for a couple extra seconds to listen in and make sure nothing was sneakily ninja defused while they were running out. Now, we will have also matches on Wednesday coming up. They're going to be our other round of 8 matches, so be sure to not miss them. 7 p.m. PT and 9 p.m. PT. We'll be having a bit of a late night in regards to that, but remember, this is one of 3 remaining broadcasts for our regular season for CSGO. So after this, after these, few broadcasts, we're done until DreamHack. So very interesting to see how these last, kind of few matches end up playing out. And as well, the amount of time that they're going to have to practice and prepare for DreamHack is great. So we'll get to see how teams adjust as they get ready for it. Raxa over there by box, not going to be trying to go on through in a very dangerous position. Down to 3 as well on UCLA side. Very hard to retake. Really nice smokes out here from OSU, blocking off almost all the vision. And now as they get some sort of an opening, just too many T's positions between sandwich, stairs, and oh my goodness, hold on just a second. Almost some easy double kills and crossfire coming in, but yeah, just way too many T's sitting around A side, and that's going to be an 8-7 half for Ohio State. Started off the round 0-6. 0-6 on T side, and then ended up coming back. Obviously, that little scenario with lag kind of helped them out for one round, but, it looks like UCLA hasn't been able to mentally recover sort of from that moment signs. We'll see what kind of adjustments they'll make. Obviously, T side can be a little bit harder if the CTs are positioned very well on OSU's side. We'll see how they execute. 2-3 split, 3 going over to B side. We have bomb hanging out by T-spawn right now. Let's see if they can draw over a rotation, and indeed it is working so far. We have 2 of the CTs coming over. You have 2 of the CTs coming over. There we go. G4C shooter coming over to B side, but hold on just a second. 3S. Here's them sneaking and crawling around mid. Gets caught up in connector. There is a firefight coming over to B side, which leaves only, unfortunately, 1 CT over on A side. He sees everybody else coming on through. Calls the fake guys. Guys, fumble, fumble. We left the ball over on A side. We gotta go get that bomb. Oh my goodness. So UCLA executing really well with the mind games, faking out the B side, coming over to A, and good trades right there for Gimp. Takes the final 2 out for OSU. So 8-8, we're all tied up here in the second half. If you guys are just tuning in for the first time, there's a little purple button on this channel. If you guys want to hit that follow button, great time to do so. That way you guys get notified for all our other playoff action the rest of the week, as well as also through the rest of the playoffs and just anything else that we really put up. It's easy, you got that Twitch app, maybe you got your Gmail hooked up to it. Whenever we go live, man, ping ping, you get notified. You'll know when it's CSL time. Coming up into connector, Gimp, great pre-fire right there. Notices his opponent running away, able to decipher as well how many steps he would have been able to take, so he able to spot him and shoot him down. Right now, OSU having a bit of a hard time dealing with some of these SMGs coming out from UCLA, aggressively taking A side, and there's really nothing, unfortunately, that Ohio State could do there. Scout on the backside of window room, going through market. G4C shooter. Oh, could he get one? Gets a good opportunity to get a headshot. Ends up landing flush, but not enough to kill him just yet. Gonna go to the back of car. UCLA is hunting. They do not want OSU to have any guns going into next round. And ends up getting shot. Almost takes out a captain, but captain, once again, another one of those players that had full HP. I think he lit everybody up except him. And that's going to be back-to-back rounds for UCLA. Once again, starting their half of the side strong. Strong. Interesting CT setup right here from UCLA. 3 going up mid, or sorry, Ohio State. 3 going up mid, 4 going up mid. And UCLA, they're not going to be expecting this or prepared for this, but they have been going B through apartments, and that's going to leave an open B side for them to work with. And unfortunately, trying to retake that from Cat with just pistols can be a tough task. And as you see right there, 2 going down, 1 catches a nade. Bonkers, the only remaining CT right there, as well as also we have 1 going through apartments. Oh no, can 3S get the knife? He does. But just by himself, not going to be able to continue on, not going to be able to do too much by himself. Ends up getting 1 more exit. Oh, no, whoa, hold on just a second. MLG 180, 3S still somehow is alive, ends up finally getting killed, but not before taking the life of many UCLA players right there, removing a lot of their guns. UCLA definitely would have loved to have them just to keep their economy so high and mighty, but We'll see now. This is the true test. UCLA last time around, after they got the first 3, they were able to continue dominating in the guns, but as the game went on, it became much tougher for them. We'll see if they can regather themselves. And I think that's the biggest challenge for at least UCLA, is are they able to regather if the time came. Oh, they spot G4C shooter, misses 2 shots up mid. Will get mollied out and not able to cross in time before he gets shot down. Definitely a tough position to play in once you get spotted and you miss some of those shots. Who is in B apartments? It looks like Captain is. He's drawn a lot of attention and fire, but a lot of the position still sort of favors the A side. 3S kind of working between jungle and window room, seeing if you can get anybody. Meanwhile, Tezro playing on the high side of Palace, and he's going to be able to sort of go through, maybe get a little bit more information right here. But as he gets information, UCLA beginning to make their move up over to A side. Oh, 3S, can you live just a little longer? We'll get mollied out right now, and Gimp hitting the shot. We still have, I think, one of our players in Palace. Yeah, Trezo's still in Palace, so he's going to be able to rotate on in on top of them to help them out. But UCLA on top of a spots a player in jungle, spots a player in Palace. Can Snoopy do it all by himself? We're gonna let him play. We're gonna let him play. Ah, oh, this is so patient. This is so patient coming out of Snoopy. All these fake plants over and over again. Tezro, he's trying to spot for him. He goes for the box, doesn't hit him in the first time, hits him the second time. Great clutch from Tezro right there. And a little bit of BM. He says, have some of those. Have some of those. What kind of guns do we have around here? We've got all the time in the world. Actually, that's probably pretty smart. Goes and finds the op, and then gonna go out and defuse. Gives a few more bullets. How you like me now, UCLA? So OSU getting it back into the mix of things again. This is just this is just what we were talking about. Is how well can UCLA stay composed on their gun rounds right now that OSU's up to full guns? They're seemingly to perform pretty well. It was a bit of a confusing round as there was a lot of chaos around mid and connector, and just it seemed like the action was going on all over the place to make it really hard to kind of commit and set up a good crossfire and defend properly. You're kind of getting drawn out of position all over the place through that A side. Bit of an aggressive push coming out from UCLA on B. How well can OSU hold? Flash is coming out. Noah, can he swag anybody down? No, he cannot. What's wrong? Stops him. No jumping, no fun zone on B side, UCLA says. Meanwhile, the rest of the CT is going to try to retake from market side. Do manage to get Snoopy down, but now UCLA well in position with 4 players. Bomb planted. Our CT is going to have to play pretty quick here. They're going to have to play pretty damn quick. OSU doesn't have a lot of time to work with, and it looks like they're just actually going to make the call and save. Yeah, UCLA's just setup was too quick. Got the bomb planted, smoked off. Very hard to access. They allowed them to get onto site, execute very well, and position themselves before they can manage to position themselves for some sort of a retake. Definitely tough to do so versus such a disciplined team. The current caster is Gold Nova. Guys, come on. At least have a little bit of accuracy. Silver Elite. Come on. Actually, I don't know. I might be Gold 1. I might be Gold 1, or I might be Silver Elite. Don't worry, boys. We'll have top level deep analysis later on. Joe Jesus will join us. Don't worry. You just have to bear with me for a couple maps. That's all. It's all it really is. That's all it really is. Alright, 11-9, we're on round number 21. UCLA still leading the charge. OSU, let's see if they can get a good gun round. Losing a little bit of that mid control. Big split coming out from UCLA, and looks like Will made the call for them to head over to B. They left the bomb back in T-spawn. Raxa picks it on up, but we do have a player getting picked off in the underground, so they have to be careful and kind of quiet how they maneuver. Only one CT plan on the back of A site. We do have, of course, G4C shooter hanging out in jungle, jumping between window room, and as well as also checking Palace out. How are they going to set it up? We have 1, 2. We only have 2 smokes, so they don't have a lot of smokes to work with here on UCLA's side. How well can they block off the vision? They go for jungle, they go for stairs, so they're going to try to work, it looks like, the left side, and they'll have to just keep an eye out on Firebox more than anything else. One is on Tetris, does get flashed out, 3S with a nice shot, takes out Raxa. Snoopy coming in from Palace, but he gets blown up by G4C Shooter. They're checking under Palace right there, and they didn't check Firebox once again. Very sloppy play coming out from UCLA. A couple moments where they might have gotten flashed in the face as well, but wonderful defense from Ohio State right there. Executing proper position, good crossfire, helping each other out in all regards. But yeah, no. Main thing is just hopefully you guys are having, you know, some fun today. Obviously, you know, a bit of a conflicting day here in the CSGO world. Hopefully, Team Liquid is still playing up to par. Obviously, as they're probably getting into map 2, we're still in map number 1. So we've got a way to go. We've got a ways to go. Like after they're done today, we still have a lot of games here at the Collegiate Star League, as well as also a second best of 3. Definitely tell your buddies, tell your friends once they're done watching MLG, head over to CSL for more and more esports. It's at that point where like CSGO is now getting brutally saturated. There's just like endless amounts of content all over the place. You just get waterboarded by CSGO day and night. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's just I experienced it in StarCraft too, and it got brutal to a point where everybody just needed to take like a little bit of a break. And I think that's where everybody's at right now with the majors, with the playoffs. In this league and different leagues. I think late April is going to be a great time for everybody just to kind of like relax and wind down. Definitely for me as well. Captain trying to take a little bit of a duel up in B. Meanwhile, loose play from Ohio State hopping around Cat. They do end up getting picked off. 4-on-4 now. And Bonkers hears them running around like rats down in the bottom of underpass. All of UCLA rotating over to A. Back of side over by bench. We have Noah. How well can he hold them up? Trading for 1-for-1. We still have 2 more coming out of apartments right here. Gimp does hit the shot. This opens up B side. 3S trades out 1-for-1 as well, and that leaves a 1-on-1 over on B side. But the bomb is heading over to A, and there is another plant. Sorry, I'm like getting like all dyslexic on sites. Oh. Can we just watch Terzo? Yeah, I mean, we could put on cams, guys. We could put on the Tezro cam just like to see how, you know, we could observe the habitat and life of a CS:GO player. I didn't prepare for this. I need like my Australian like safari guide voice. Look at the blue CT crawling up. Wonderful P250 in his hand. Let's see if he could actually get the shot off. You could see as his teammate gets triggered on the B side, can he jump and trade with his opponent? A dangerous and ferocious type. Can he bite his opponent? Not today. Snoopy gets the better of that trade. Just like, yeah, no. So there's your Tezro cam. Unfortunately, he ends up getting dropped down. This is going to leave B side a little bit open. We do have Bonkers though sitting here, only with the USP though. He'll have to be very sneaky and patient. Can he maybe get 1? Can he get 2? Or something just to hold him up? He might be able to get the bomb planter. He does get the bomb planter kill, but not before he actually ends up throwing down the bomb. UCLA reacts quick. Knocks down 3 of the remaining OSU players, and that is 13 for them on round 23. We're heading into round 24. 3 more needed for UCLA. Ohio State, if they have any comeback in mind, they might have to get it started now. With their economy, it looks like they'll have, if they lose this round, they'll have to go to Eco just for 1 round and then try to fully buy out, unless they want to try that risky force buy this late in the game. But definitely, if you generally just from a perspective, losing right now would not be great for Ohio State. It's gonna limit their options of what they could do. Oh my goodness, Tezro not able to get Raxa. Raxa drops him down, but they do trade it in for 1-for-1 over by stairs. I think they do hear one of the players. It looks like Captain, yeah, over in B apartments, try to spray him through the walls. Not able to do really much. Actually does eat up a little bit of damage. Underpass control by Gimp. I think this is the one forgotten player right here. While all the commotion is happening all over the place, He is sneakily walking around mid trying to control it. He's got a couple players around him, so he'll have to be careful if he plans to live as well. The bomb has been dropped on the B side of spawn, so they do have to eventually go back for that here. 46, 45 seconds left. They'll have to make some move. What's wrong coming through the back of spawn? He needs to get that bomb and then rotate over there quickly if he plans to get a plant. I don't know if they have enough time just to find the CTs and trade out. They're actually going to have to get this bomb planted. Here comes What's Wrong. Knife out, sprinting, has to Usain Bolt his way on over. Can they do it in time? Once again, we have a CT sitting on site. That is no with an M4. How long can he hold him off? Not that long on the bonkers end of things on Cat. He gets dropped. Noah gets dropped. Trade out mid. Good play by 3S. But still, bomb gets planted again. Numbers game not in favor for them, and it's going to be a very complicated retake. Yeah, so see, if they're going to force, if they're going to maybe get another gun round or force buy here pretty soon, this is probably a good idea that they save their guns now as best they can. What's wrong? I have no clue what the heck just happened there. It looks like Captain might have caught a jitty teammate and made him shoot. You can see, you can see What's Wrong. He's in a bit of rhythm right now. He's kind of jiggling around all over the place, really antsy. Probably not too happy that he just TK'd his teammate, but it does happen once in a while. You just have to be attentive to the radar. I do find that ironic, though. I do find that ironic. Will and I, we casted on Tuesday, UC Davis versus Ryerson. UC Davis did this like really late in the game, the same thing, but they were actually down, and Will just went in on him. He just went in on him. He just started criticizing and heckling him. He's just like, you have to be aware of the radar, man. You have to just be aware of the radar. Just be aware of the radar, man. Like, how could you do that this late? And there we go. TK's his own teammate as well. Big mid setup from UCLA. Not a lot left on the line, unfortunately, for Ohio State. End up actually getting a nice trade over in mid. Not great on guns, not great on econ. UCLA really needs to try to clutch this round to give themselves an easier 16th round to work with. Any wiggle room Ohio State can get is obviously good and dangerous for them, so very important. We've seen a lot of times CSL teams have a lot of trouble closing out these later rounds, especially once they get up to 14. Part of this could be just because Joey likes to curse teams and call matches, but I feel it's weird to explain because I feel like part of it is just a lot of teams get too cocky and are willing to overextend once they have some sort of an advantage. So when they get up to 13 rounds, when they get up to 14 rounds on their score side, they end up getting a little bit too cocky and sometimes getting a little bit too loose with their play style. And so it's good to see that UCLA, at least at the moment, looks like they're most likely going to get this 15th round. It's a 2-on-2. Can Ohio State retake right now? Bonkers Noah, remaining players left. One on site, one on ramp. Raxa back on ramp. What's wrong? Nothing's wrong. That's what's wrong. Nothing's wrong at all. Can he make less problems? He can. He's a problem solver. 2 minus 2, that equals 0, and that is one remaining round of life for Ohio State. Yes, I did take math. I did take math at some point in life. That was perfect. Well, round number 26, match point for UCLA. Guns all aboard, miniature guns on the side of Ohio State. It looks like we got some mags, some pistols, and a scout. Definitely not what you want to be working with on a match point round when you're down, but it is manageable. There's worse situations to be in terms of guns after kind of being around. But this is what I was talking about. It's just they were most likely going to get in a poor situation. If they ended up losing that round, they would have forced, and then it would have been this inevitable round 26 where they would have been really long guns. What's wrong? Sitting close to wall, trying to see if he could listen in and find any additional information on their opponents. Doesn't hear anybody in underpass. Might be hearing some of the shuffling over on B apartments. But, I'm sorry, was that What's Wrong? Sorry, I meant G4C shooter. He's hanging out in underpass. Here's UCLA kind of maybe squirming around a little bit. Still not calling for the rotate. Both of our CTs on Ohio State sitting on A side are still hanging around. So this could maybe catch them a little bit off guard. Raxa ends up getting the initial frag, losing one of their best shooters, G4C. Molly forces the jump and What's Wrong catches him. We have one player on site in the most heinous and sneaky position you could find. That was actually really good. Oh my goodness. Look at Ohio State. And they end up clutching it. They end up clutching it with no guns really to their name. Beautiful dig on the site. I think that scared everybody to hell. Turned everybody's attention around. And everybody else remaining from the Ohio State side ends up getting that nice crossfire from Market and other locations. That was just really funny. He's just sitting there and caught them off guard. As soon as you start hearing the dig shots, you saw all the gun models just turn their face over to mid, and they couldn't spot him at first. All right, UCLA coming in with a good quick execute. All AKs. Can they do it? No. 2 dropping, and this is what I'm talking about right here. It's just they're playing very loose. They're playing very sloppy. The trades are going very poorly for them, and once again dropping down UCLA to 1 player. This is a very habitual problem with all of our CSL teams. Maybe Pauly de Montreal would be the one consistent player that doesn't really let these late rounds drop too much for them, but as soon as they get that 13th, 14th round, just overconfidence, cockiness shown by a lot of these teams, and it concerns me because even though it ends up being more entertaining for us, it's going to become much harder for them, especially in, you know, championship rounds, and especially if they end up making it to DreamHack, to have this on their record, and it can be a big problem, especially with confidence and momentum. You lose a couple rounds here, you lose a couple rounds there. Now you end up missing, you know, shots. You end up losing rounds that you typically would win. So CSGO is a very mental game, guys. CSGO very, very mental. A lot of accuracy and skill, but very mental as well. Noah hanging out in jungle. He does spot What's Wrong. What's Wrong will manage to make his way on site. Should actually be able to get the plant. Trying to listen in and see if anybody's going to try to rush him. Fake plants. Molly coming on in. Good that he probably didn't, but ends up going down anyways. Good shot from Noah. It's an official Molly kill, I guess. That works. That works. Round number 28. Could we be going to overtime? Could we be going to overtime? I actually wouldn't even believe it if we did go to overtime. Like, it feels like only natural if we're playing on Cobble and that goes to overtime. I feel like that's the only map we end up going to overtime on anyways. It just wouldn't feel right, especially not on Mirage. Mirage hasn't really been used as one of our maps too often as well. It's kind of one of those things I noticed. Probably good that it's a default. There's other maps sort of like an Inferno. Tezro, good spam through the smoke. Ends up sniping down What's Wrong right there. Not going to be too happy with that. They do spot him at car. But UCLA does own the A site. How quickly can Ohio State rotate over? They got 2 over by Market. We have 1 that looks like trying to maybe go through B spot or through underpass, and indeed that is the case. Window does get smoked off. They're going to try to spray, but Market is completely concealed right now. Going to be hard to come out smoothly. It's going to be really up to G4C shooter to try to make some plays, make some moves over here on B side apartment, see if he can maybe open up or distract this positioning. Good molly to Carr. That's going to draw out one of our T's, and already Raxa trading. Raxa trading well. Can Raxa get one more? And it's actually going to be Gim gets the final shot, and that is finally going to be a win for UCLA. I hate that it does that final score. 16-12. I think that's our final score right there, guys. That I can't do math. I hate when it like switches around. I hate when our servers do that. It automatically jumps at the other score to like 15. But I think it was like 16-12 final score. Great map from UCLA. We're going to be heading to map 2 shortly here. We're going to be trying to keep a little bit of a tighter schedule than normal due to the fact that we have UC Davis versus Pauly de Montreal right after this. All of our content, all of our action, and all of the Collegiate Star League this year is brought to you by Asus Republica Gamers. Check them out for all your needs as a gamer. Peripherals, gear, laptops, desktops, t-shirts, USB plugs. Really, whatever you want, whatever you wish. You could probably see if they have one of those Asus toasters as well. You want to have that good Asus toast in the morning. They probably have that too if you request it. So Asus, really amazing to have them along and being part of the ride for the CSL and our road to DreamHack, as well as also Twitch TV, your streaming provider, the best one in the world, sponsoring, featuring, and of course being a part of the CSL. As for the rest of you lovely nerds, don't go anywhere too long. Grab a drink, grab some popcorn. Game 2 going to be coming up in moments.